Welcome back, my little recusants, to another episode of our Kingdom Hearts 2 Final Mix 100% guide. We are continuing with our quest for minigames and missions, and right now we are heading to another Mushroom 13 challenge within Beast's Castle. So, we have done the one in Agrabah, which was all about the, high fire damage, defeating it in X amount of seconds. This particular one is out where we fought Zaldin. And this particular Mushroom 13, it's all about collecting point orbs and flying around. So that's why we need to get our glide max leveled, just so that we're able to keep up and finish all of the Mushroom 13 challenges. Now, in other news, we are fighting all of these guys. Very handy to get some dark gems. Never a negative thing when we're trying to fill out Jiminy's Journal and collect multiple different gems. And obviously, getting the high score in all of the different Mushroom 13 challenges will allow us to get a ton of tranquility items, which is also needed for item synthesis. Now, we are going to be equipping draw rings, and if you have multiple draw rings, then equip more of them as you can. And obviously, we're also going to be equipping the Follow the Wind Keyblade, since that has draw as its auto ability. Probably the first and only time you'll ever see me equip Follow the Wind. But with 2 draw rings, the multiple draws in Sora's ability kit, and Follow the Wind, we should be able to basically follow this little guy, and you can use Crit 1 to follow after him in the early stages, but as he starts to speed up, you will have to basically start flying after him yourself. He kind of does a little 8-figure pattern, and he'll basically go from one side of the bridge to the other side, so just trying to kind of land and stay after him is kind of the aim of the game. And it can be tough, especially when you glide at high speeds, to kind of stay under him, but he will typically zoom over to a corner, and if you can catch him in that big burst of speed, you can collect, as you can see, up to 60 little orbs all in one go. Unfortunately, I missed that last bit, but we do get a big fireworks display, which is a sign that we have maximized and gotten the high score needed for Jiminy's Journal. So, Minigames has a Mickey Mouse seal, which is great, and the mission is to get 450. We got that much. So the only other thing is the absent silhouette, which we will get to, just not right now. For this particular Heartless, we're going to want to equip a bunch of ethers. We're going to want to go into final form. We're going to want to shortcut all of the different spells. And basically, when they go in a straight line, you're going to want a Blizzard. When they end up spread apart, you're going to want a Thunder. And you're going to basically never want to run out. So when they're in a circle, you use Fire. When they're in a straight line, you use Blizzard. And when they're kind of a bit all over the place, you'll use Thunder. And you're going to want to just make sure you can spam your Thunders and use Ethers sparingly until we've beaten this. As you can see, I tried this before. I ended up getting a really bad first high score, but I beat it in under 30 seconds that time. And then whenever you see the fireworks, that means the Mushroom 13 has been appeased. And again, for each Mushroom 13 we end up encountering, we do end up adding it to the journal, which is nice. So now we're on to Timeless River. This particular Heartless will require us to have Beast's Keyblade equipped for an additional finisher plus. And we're going to want to remove as many combos as we can, just so we get as many finishers back to back as we can. For this one, we have to hit him 100 times. So we are going to be making sure that we have no combo pluses, no air combo pluses, and we're even going to negative combo as well. Just so we can get to our finisher, which is obviously in wisdom form, a high number of the bullets, one after another. As you can see, I've been trying my best to do this one, and the whole thing is you need to be getting it within 19 seconds or under. And that big thing is your distance. You're going to want to stay close enough that you kind of stay locked on, but not so close that you overshoot. We get it in 18 seconds that time, and that is another Mushroom 13 finished. So now looking at the journal, we have it in under 19 seconds, which is great. As you can see, Twilight Town has a ton because we have to redo all of the Roxas job mini-games. And as I say, I'm just kind of going along and being like, that's all done, that's all done, we need to wait because there is a Mushroom 13. I don't have the physical strength to finish that one yet, but we will circle back to it eventually once we're max level. But yeah, it's really satisfying just to go into the world and see all the Mickey Mouse symbols. And as I say, so many of the worlds will, by the end of this episode, have every mission complete. We're going to take on the behemoth that is Twilight Town. We've already done one Mushroom 13 in Twilight Town, but Twilight Town has so many. And once again, this upcoming Mushroom 13, it's going to require us to take off all our MP haste because we are going to want to take advantage of Berserk Charge. And obviously the longer we can stay with our MP recharging, the more we have the infinite shooting in wisdom form with no drawbacks or no finishers. That just takes up too much time. So on the one hand, we needed wisdom and getting to the finisher immediately. In this particular challenge, we needed wisdom and we needed to not reach the finisher ever. So once you're in wisdom, you can talk to the little guy here. We need to get our MP empty, and then we start the challenge. We need to get 40 points or more. This will be the case of just spamming lock on to basically pivot Sora in whatever direction there is an open target. And if Sora can stay as kind of central to these different six pillars while moving kind of up and down, again, getting rid of the MP as soon as possible. We only have 30 more seconds, we need to get to 40 points. So try not to go too far to one side, purely because you'll end up getting stuck behind a pillar and then you won't be able to pivot as quickly. And again, it's slightly RNG as to when and how the mushrooms end up spawning. So, you know, sometimes I ended up getting really close, like 39. Other times I got nowhere near. But just keep moving, keep locked on. And now that I ended up with 40, we get the fireworks. And that is another Jiminy Journal Mushroom 13 satisfied. Other than that, we are going to have to do one of the most challenging ones now. Unfortunately, ladies and gents, this one's awful. This one took me 2 hours on its own to finish. This one is found by Yen Sid's tower, and it is infamous in being the worst one to try and do. Basically, I had to equip Master Form, and I had to equip the 2 longest Keyblades I owned, which was Guardian Soul and Decisive Pumpkin, I'm pretty sure. You'll see them once we load into this one here. But it is Mushroom number 8, guys. As I said before, infamous, awful, horrible to work with. Literally just the absolute worst. The idea is you have to pull it up into the air and then keep it in the air for a certain number of hits. My initial idea was Berserk Charge, which is the answer, but Berserk Charge and Retaliating Slash to try and keep up with him as he kind of gets moved around the area. But unfortunately, there will come a point where he'll just move too far away, and with a score of 65, that's not even nearly the amount that we need. We need 85 or more, and I missed him again, and again, and again. No matter what I did, I couldn't get him. Now we are getting tranquility stuff, so, you know, it has a purpose. But this eventually was the winning run. Decisive Pumpkin and Guardian Soul. Just to have the length of Keyblades that will at least magnetize Sora in while in Master Form. And just try and, since you're locked on, like, use Sora to at least pull himself into the mushroom's range and kind of encircle him. So that way Sora kind of throws himself around a bit more. But unfortunately, guys, it's Berserk Charge and Master Form. That's the only way I could get this level. I don't have any other advice other than just hope and pray that Sora doesn't accidentally yeet himself sideways and let the enemy drop. It's a skill issue on my part that I can't get it more consistent for you guys, but there's an example of how to do it. As I say, we then end up back in the other parts of Twilight Town, and I'm like, get back on my MP restoring speedy elements. Let's get rid of negative combo. Let's just reorganize our skills. But what we're actually going to do now is flex our skills at swordsmanship to the point where we just bully the Twilight Town teenagers, because we can take part in struggle tournaments again. Yeah, the time that Roxas, you know, beat people up and they spat out little orbs and we had to try and collect all 200 or have more than the other person by the time, you know, the time limit went up. If you thought that Sora would be OP for this, or maybe he'd like have all his extra magical abilities removed, he doesn't. And so with the explosion spell, Sora literally defeats Hayner instantly. Now, for Jiminy's Journal, what has to happen is you have to defeat Hayner 10 times. Once you defeat him 10 times, you'll unlock Setzer. And then you have to defeat Setzer 10 times in order to fight Cypher as the finale. So, as I say, with Explosion, you're never going to lose. For me, it was a personal challenge of what's the quickest I can beat him. And I kept getting annoyed because with Slapshot, I would be pulling Sora straight into Hayner, and then I just wouldn't have the draw to pull in the other orbs from far away. So that one was woeful. But I was like, oh, if only I had like max draw rings, maybe I could like pull in that one little stray. It seems to always elude me. 5-3-5-3, nice symmetry there. And then I miscounted. I was like, is that it? And then when you go talk to the sign, eventually it'll say fight, you know, Setzer. Not a difficult minigame compared to the Mushroom 13. Like, this is very just switch off your brain and do it. Next up is Setzer. And basically we're going to have to do the same thing with him. Take him out with collecting the 200 orbs, which when you have Explosion, it's a no-brainer. You're going to win it, you know? And then eventually, once you defeat Setzer enough times, you can challenge Cypher. And none of them are in any way a challenge. Just collect your prize. And now that we've beaten each of them within... well, sorry. You saw that we beat them all by collecting 200 orbs multiple times. Jiminy's Journal is much more lenient. It's just like you have to beat them with having, you know, 100 points or more on your side. You have to have 150 points or more on your side. Then you have to win by collecting all the orbs at 200 points. So very, very much an easy situation there. The mail delivery is literally the exact same. There is no difference. We played this with Roxas in the tutorial, and this Jiminy's Journal challenge, for whatever reason, gives mail delivery a 13-second time limit. We had always been doing them in under 10 seconds, even as Roxas with like limited movement ability. So, you know, it's fairly straightforward. They're not all this simple though. Poster duty is unreasonably difficult to try and do. Like, unbelievably so. And for the cargo climb then, the plan is to remove your air combos, to equip negative combo again, and do your best to try and just... you're going to need to get rid of aerial finish as well. You just want to basically jump and attack to throw the cargo climb, or the big trailer of luggage, up the hill as quickly as possible. So let's watch me go. I tried it before and I had left on aerial finish, and it just slows down the entire process by literally more than 10 seconds because Sora just spins in the air for like an inordinate amount of time. So now that minigame's done, let's, you know, put everything back together again. And it's so funny because the last game there was the Grandstander.
Back off!
And I genuinely was like, no, I've done too many of that mushroom 87. So I literally was like, no, I can't. I couldn't within the one you know, play session do both mushroom number 8 and the Grandstander minigame. I was like, no. So like, this is actually the next day when I loaded up the game. I was like, no, I can't stomach this now for the exact same play session. I'm coming back later with a clear head. So Grandstander is actually quite simple. It's got 100 points or more, and for whatever reason, I thought I had Berserk Charge, and I don't. But as it happens, even though it's a bit slower than your retaliating slashes or horizontal slashes in midair, the fact that Sora actually stays in the air really actually helps him stay airborne and able to infinitely combo the beach ball. If only we could have said the same thing for our little mushroom friend. The ball just has a very, very steady trajectory, so it's easy to map and deal with. And then what's lovely is when Sora does that little mini jump like attack, he gets tons of extra hits in. And yeah, nearly to 100, but then I wasn't sure. This is just me being super dumb. I, from memory, thought you had to get 200 hits, and so I ended up doing 200 hits. And then I was like, oh, like I think I can let it drop now. And then it was just a case of running out of all my other tries. So with a really lackluster one hit, we got the record of 201. And that very much was overkill on that minigame. But if you can get 200, there's no reason why you can't get 100. So, this next one, once again, we're going to want to get as few combo modifiers as possible. And the reason why this is sped up is because as Sora, you can manually walk into these objects and they will eventually get pushed around. So, it does take a while, but I'd rather take the time to do this and get the minigame finished than make it super difficult on myself. But basically, just line up all the trash in a straight line and then just go behind one piece of junk and fire it into all the other ones. What you actually would want is to have a bit of distance, so I kind of moved it forward, which wasn't the vibe.
It's over.
Because once I did the piercing attack, any piece of garbage that I touched counted as a swing. But regardless, I did it within the parameter, which was less than 6 points. So, job done. Next up is the single most easiest, the Bumble Busters to get rid of the bees. Just use Magnet.
Gather.
And Thunder.
Gather. Ha. Thunder. Yeah.
And just like that, 8 seconds. Another minigame done and dusted. Now, for poster duty, there's a very, very particular route you're going to take, so just watch what I do and follow. Just using our double jumps, and hopefully Sora doesn't do his spin all the time. I've never realized how to control whether he does it or not. But just hopefully he doesn't, because it does slow him down a fraction. But with 2 more. Barely, but it was under 30 seconds, which was all we needed for poster duty to be Mickey Mouse stamped. Now, there are different shops, and I do actually go around and just collect the different shields and staves for Donald and Goofy. They're not any good, but I just bought them to have them in the inventory. Basically, you're going to want to grind this stairwell, and then once Sora naturally jumps off, you can do skateboard tricks around the corner until you land. Do not press X when you're on the ground, it'll count as a trick. So just grind, and then once you have Sora naturally jump off, just do your mini hops as far over to the tram tower as possible. And then once you get over 1,000 points, then you can just heel flip till your heart's content, using up your other 2 tries and finishing the minigame. And just like that, we've actually finished all the missions and all the mini-games within Twilight Town. It seemed monstrous when we were looking at it in the beginning, but a lot of the mini-games and stuff are done super, super quickly. And speaking of super quick mini-games, we're going to keep our long Keyblade equipped here now, and we're going to try and redo the Winnie the Pooh 100 Acre Wood mini-games. This high score has to be 18,000. So we were so close the previous high score, but we just have to take our time and get a higher score basically. Don't fret if you miss like the honeycombs, they generally don't give you that much points wise, but it's these big tree trunks that you're going to really want to make sure you do not get hit or miss out on their honey pot yield. And do your best to try and hit like the honey pot and the other 2 tree trunks all at the same time. If you can get 2 or 3 of those tree trunks at the one time, that'd be great. But it's just about not missing the honey pots really. The honey pots are where it's at points wise. So make sure you're kind of staying low for all of these. And now do your best to make your way into the gigantic tornado. And now everything comes down, so you're going to want to track that tornado. And then, with that, high score achieved.
Boo Bear! Oh, Sora, that was frightening.
this slider one really isn't difficult. So just follow the path.
Perhaps a bit more.
You might remember in my previous 100 Acre Wood commentary, I said that when you come back here with Pooh having his memory restored, he will actually say Sora's name, which is quite cool. Just a nice continuity detail, you know?
Oh, my tummy rumbled.
So just left, right, left.
Oh, thank you so much.
Gopher here. Gopher is the name.
It's the speed changes that can really throw you. So just learn the route if getting the high score turns out to be a struggle for you. But typically, it isn't that bad. They give you enough notice, like with the arrows, you know? It's not that bad.
Gopher is the name.
My tummy rumbled. Perhaps a bit more.
Do not miss Gopher for this one. You need all the points you can get for this big long stretch.
My tummy rumbled.
9,492. $8,000 or more, well within the goals there. But you will notice that on the way down we only had 7,000, so you need to survive that big steep descent down in order to get to the 8,000 mark, you know? This one's all to do with, you know, how the balloons line up, unfortunately. But with enough luck and kind of just knowing where stuff was below you at all times, you should be able to navigate to the very, very tip top easily enough.
What fun.
You and me are good bouncers, huh?
What fun.
So 300 points, and now we just gotta deal with these teeny tiny balloons. But if you're able to pop them, you get so much points. And don't fall all the way down though. Stay focused on getting like the tiny ones. And then the green ones are great for just giving you that little bit of extra jump. We're getting really lucky with the balloon lineup here, guys. Just like that we're able to keep moving. Because I won't lie to you guys, it's very unfortunate. But basically, I had such a good streak with this one. But once I ended up hitting the ground, it's like I couldn't get up at all. It just was a woeful time.
What fun.
Come on, let's bounce some more.
So yeah, I ended up at 2,000, and then I was like, oh wait, oh god. Oh god, wait.
Oh, yes. Hooray.
Why am I not seeing anything?
Oh, yes.
And I was raging with myself. I was like, oh my god, how did I end up being so bad at like any of the other two jumps? But luckily for me, it was only 2,000, so I already doubled the score. We did the expedition in a previous one when we were looking for all the treasure chests. But for the final mission now, it's just to get the power high. Once you get the power high, you're sorted. And like that, managed to get it first try. Yeesh the honey pot away.
Oh, yummy.
And that's going to be our episode. All the mini games for the game. finished and complete. Thanks so much for tuning in, and next episode we'll continue the story. Chat to you next time. Have a good one.